Hello everyone, Attack Power here with another deck building video for Steel Division 2 here with 116th Panzer. If you enjoy these, smash that like button, subscribe, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership, support the channel. Thanks a bunch everybody. Let's dive right on in. Now, 116th. Honestly, it's been so long. I can't remember if this is original division or not. I don't think it is. I feel like it's like maybe the first or second DLC. Don't quote me on that. Could be an original, but it's an old school division. It's been around a fairly long time. And truth be told, it's never been a division that like sat really high, A tier or S tier, anything like that. It's always been a solid, not necessarily bad, but not great division, and it still does some good things. It's actually, these days, it's actually a pretty good mix of stuff that can get a lot more done than it first appears on the page. It's got a ton of light armor, which we know right now is really strong, so that is super helpful for it. And I would actually say it's probably in one of the strongest positions it's been in quite a while, meta-wise. There are still definitely some kind of quirky things about the division that don't fill in just right, but there is some strong points to this. So let's dive in here. We are definitely, one thing to note, this is definitely a Maverick Vanguard deck. The division doesn't have a ton of depth. Yeah, you could kind of play it balanced. I'm not gonna lie, like you can sort of get away with it, but the thin infantry tab is really painful when you try to do that, but it is doable. You can balance it, but I would suggest if you're playing this division, the right way to do this is definitely to build it more Maverick or Vanguard. So recon tab here, Aufklärer, we want to see stuff. That's, that's generally a thing. SPW 234/1. What is the difference between this and the SPW 223, 233, 223? You'd think I would know this by now. 231? Whatever. The thing that almost looks identical, this has some more armor. That's the big difference. This has a bit more armor too. The 234 variant has a bit more armor than the 223. I'm not going to remember the number. It's going to really annoy me. Anyway, so we have this autocannon, and then, of course, the SPW 234/222. This is, no, 223. Okay, I'm over it. But yeah, this is a great opener. You definitely want it. Now, one little note for you. At the beginning of the game, when you're bringing this in, mostly, of course, to try to snipe your opponent's transports, right? You're trying to stop their initial rush of getting into position. The best thing to do in those first moments of the game is to turn off the heat shell. The heat shell is really important. It's the thing that allows us to actually from time to time kill a tank or something, which is awesome. Like you feel so good when that happens. But at the beginning of the game, you really want that higher accuracy. Like the heat shell is really quite inaccurate. So you want that higher accuracy at the beginning of the game. Transports don't have armor, so you don't need the higher penetration. What you do need is to actually land a hit. So my suggestion to you at the beginning of the game, turn off that heat shell, look for those early kills using the AP shell, and then make sure you immediately turn that heat shell back on, because you will be a very sad panda if you go up against anything with armor and this poor AP shell is firing. It's terrible. So yeah, great little units, really strong start in A phase. Things we're not taking the BMW. There's no point. Aufklärer, second card. SDK is at 250/8. I've talked about this unit before. I like it. It's actually it's basically an IG-18 slapped on a half track. And that's not a bad thing. Like, that's a very solid unit that if there's room from time to time, I will take it. It's really not necessary here. The SPW 234 fills a similar-ish role in that it's a good assault sort of cannon. You can see it's actually the same gun. This one just doesn't get any of the fun stuff attached to it. It is only 20 points. You get okay availability, but there's just no room for it. And it's not like a strong unit. I'm not making a case for why this should be included over other stuff. It's not like a complete embarrassment of a unit. Sped Troop. You all know my feelings on Sped Troop. I've got a Panzer 4J. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Panzer 4s. We have plenty in the tank tab. The recon part is really nice, but the recon tabs are actually a bit pricey here in this division, so it's not something that I prioritize getting this unit with extra sight, because your tank tab does it just fine. Same thing here with the Panther D. Again, Panther Ds here in the Recon tab are traditionally a very solid unit. That Recon on the tank actually does make them a lot more usable. But you don't need it. You have plenty of Panthers in the tank tab, and there's not any reason to use a really expensive slot when you can use a cheaper slot in the tank tab. So continuing on, the Infantry tab, definitely one of the big weaknesses of the deck. There's nothing special here. This is just a standard... Oh, I lied. There's one special thing here. Otherwise, it's a standard Panzer Division Infantry tab. And that special thing is right here in the Ersatz Pioneer. This unit has been buffed. I'm pretty sure it's been buffed at some point in its time frame. Yeah, I think availability or something. This is a solid unit. It's nothing like, it's not breaking the world, guys. This is not, it used to be really strong. When Disheartened was like a weaker negative, so it wasn't like a big deal. This unit was really good. Now, it's fine. It's not amazing. It's a Pioneer squad with an MG42 and really high availability. That's what makes this unit special. Like, we can check out versus a normal Pioneer squad here. Same exact number of troops. Similar loadout. The Urzat Pioneer actually has a worse loadout, right? Because you're using the Pioneer to throw the grenade and to fight CQC. The Urzat Pioneer has one less MP40, so technically speaking, it is actually worse. It is so minor of a difference. And of course, then instead you get the upgrade to the MG42, which makes this unit a lot better at like rifle fighting, which is not usually why you bring a Pioneer in, but certainly they can do that all right. That's it. You know, that's really the difference. You can also try to take them in B for 18 in B. I see the argument, but the fact of the matter is if you don't take these in A, you have to take a Sturm Pioneer, and you're only getting 5, and that's really low. Like, that's not a lot of troops there in A phase, and you can get way more in B phase. So that's why I have them here in A. This is your special quote-unquote unit here for this division in terms of the infantry tab. I mean, it's nice to have it there. Don't expect this to be like the greatest thing that's ever happened to the woods. Then we have a card of Panzerfaust here, and a card of Panzergren without the Panzerfaust coming in the half-tracks. I'm splitting it up. It's nice to have a couple in the half-tracks. Half-tracks can be super annoying, super helpful. They can support okay. Now, of course, the SDK of Z is not like an M3A1, you know, on the Allied side with its 50 cal, but that doesn't change the fact it's an extra MP42 that's throwing down some fire for you for only 5 points. You know, it's nice to mix it. You don't just want these. They're too slow, but when you have something faster, then you can bring in the slower stuff, kind of like intersperse it in when there's perhaps a lull in the combat where you get to bring in some reinforcements. You just rebuffed a big attack or something. And, you know, this thing can drive through a lot of places that the transport cannot. B phase, double card of Sturm Pioneer here. How you want to structure this B phase is really up to you. So I'm double vetting these 2 Sturm Pioneers. It gives me 14, and then I have the Panzergren, Panzerfaust here in the transport. This gives me 53 infantry. For a Maverick deck, it's low, but it's doable. Okay, like I don't want this game going long. And the fact of the matter is, this division is not winning on its infantry. It's not winning on the back of its infantry. You just kind of have to accept that as a fact. So in my thinking, you know, why try to go nuts in the infantry, like get the maximum number when that's really not where I should be spending my points? You really want to be using more of your armored support weapons and stuff than your infantry. Your infantry are going to actually be a little bit more limited here. You, of course, always need infantry, but that's why it's set up this way. Yes, I could single vet them. You know, right away, my personal feeling is, yes, I need to single vet these and get 20 instead of 14. I'm like itching to do it right now. I might do it. I haven't decided. No. It's Maverick. I'm trying to win faster. So double vet. The double vet interesting does go a pretty long way there. Now, what you also can do is take out the Pioneer Fear. You can take out the leader. You can get another Panzergren card or a Pioneer card somewhere that can be really helpful. I'm not sold on the Pioneer Fear. I'm really not, actually. Like, I'd be up for doing this and tossing in. I don't even know what I'd probably do this and maybe this. Oh, that sucks. That's brutal. But yeah, maybe that. The funny thing is, doing it this way, you don't actually. I got 3 more infantry than I had before. Like, it's not really that many more because this only goes up by 2. And this is only 1 more than the Sturm Pioneer squad that was over here. So, I don't know. It really comes down to, do you want that leadership? Like, do you think the 3 Pioneer Fuhrer here, are they going to make a big difference? Are they going to change, you know, the game for you? Are they the thing that's going to make it? Or having a little bit more flexibility with your infantry actually fighting? I think that's up to you. I think I would lean more towards this because I do have the Batterie Fuhrer in B. And then we'll change the tank tab a little bit to get some tank leaders there too. So, yeah. Again, the infantry tab, there's not much to say here, but there is plenty of jiggering around to do. All right, tank tab. Truth be told, there's nothing special about this either. Like, if we're really getting down to brass tacks, there's not anything super special going on here. You do get a nice Panzer 3L. That's a nice little bonus here, so we're definitely double vetting that. It's worth losing. I mean, they actually upped the availability on these, but I think that the double veterancy on this really does a lot of work, and you want that light armor all over the place. And the thing is, too, the Panzer III is not in the best place it's ever been. I just don't feel like this unit trades super well. Any unit worth around this same cost, it can actually die pretty easily from. Any medium tank above it tends to beat it pretty hard these days. You know, it actually does better against other Axis divisions, like trading up to a Panzer IV potentially. That is probably one of its best use cases. It doesn't actually perform very well against things like Shermans or T-34-85s. It actually really struggles against those because you're actually looking at the AP shell for the most part. The APCR takes 4 penetrations to kill something. You only have 4 APCR shells in the first place. So you're banking on this penning every single time. And your opponent missing at least twice for you to get off 4 shots because you're not firing that fast. It's not the unit it used to be. Not 100% sure when it didn't get as good. It's still good. Like, you definitely still take it, but I really do actually think it's worth double vetting this. Then we have the Panzer IV-J here. A little bit cheaper here for A phase, so we can get them out. The difference, again, I think is just that super slow turret turning speed. I believe that is the weakness here of the Panzer IV-J versus its H cousin there in A phase. But, you know, you can certainly, if you hate the concept here, then get the H's and have them turn a little faster. The one thing that we did talk about was trying to get a leader tank in here. We'll see if there's 2 points we can take somewhere else. Panther Afia, it is nice to have it, you know, like have some sort of Panther 2K in A phase. It can really box somebody out who's playing a longer game, and you can start using these aggressively pretty early. So that's why the Panther A here is in A phase. B phase, we have 2 cards of Panzer IVs and then a Panther A card here as well. I mean, if I really want, you know, if you feel like you really want that leader Panzer IV in A phase, you could take one of these out and shift it over. I don't think I want to, though. I think I like having this. Actually, maybe I'll just do this. I think that I like that a little bit more. Get a little leadership here that can stand next to the Panther and things like that. So, yeah, it's not a ton of tanks. It's 20 tanks, but at the same time, you're trying to win, you know, mid-C phase. You're not going to have infinity time to call these things out. And in the support tab, we'll see there's even more armor support to work with here. So, support tab, really good, actually. This is a great support tab. It's got a ton of tools, a ton of options, a lot of good stuff here. So, Flammenwerfer, we need the extra infantry for sure. We do need that early push. Then we have a card of Panzer IV F1s. These are phenomenal. They have the same gun that the SPW has. If we hop over here really quick, we can see it's the same thing. Okay, so we have the same gun as that, but we have some armor on our thing, and we have some extra machine guns. So this is a, and you got, no, it's the same amount of heat shells. Same heat shells. I thought you got a bunch of these, but I guess not. Yeah, this is actually a super efficient unit for 35 points. It's the same price actually as, you know, the SPW over here. But you get a little more armor. It's a lot more survivable against light AT infantry and stuff, PTRDs, PTRSs, Solotherns, etc., AT rifles, essentially. So this is a really nice unit. It's good for spamming. Then I'm in the wrong tab. And then we also have a Panzer IIIN, which falls into the same exact category, except this one gets 12 heat shells, which is really nice because you actually really get to like pump out the heat shell damage. And yeah, I mean, it's just a good unit. It does really nice stuff generally, and for 40 points, yeah, it's the same as the Panzer III, but this does so much more against infantry. Like, the damage from this HE is so much more useful than, you know, this does so much less damage, and the AP shells is the same as the heat shell here. The heat shell also doesn't lose penetration over range. Yeah, it's inaccurate, but I can tell you that Panther 3L is going to miss just as painfully often, it feels like, as this thing. So, yeah, I just find these to actually be more effective these days in the Panzer 3L because of that significant increase in HE damage that it outputs. So, really nice support weapons. MG42, Grilla, you know, you really kind of want that 2K HE. It oftentimes plays out really importantly to be able to kill off AT guns and things like that. Hard to leave these at home. We're not taking this because, whatever, the years that Pioneers don't get the bonus. We'll move on. Flammenpanzer, just not in a good spot these days. IG-18, we have basically 100 mobile IG-18s. I would love a second card of MG-42s, just can't find room for it. Ammo, you'll notice we're missing the supply. That's because I've done some jiggering to put it into the RD tab instead so that I could get the extra slot to call in the second card of Panzers here instead. I just think actually it'll be more valuable. We're not taking Commander. Yeah, there's a bunch of leaders, but I don't think the slot is really worth it here. Anti-tank tab. You get a lot of options here. The problem is not really any of them are light options. You're basically committed to some of the more expensive AT choices. So we do have Panzerschrecks, Marder 3, F-22. This is a great weapon. You have the Pack 36 on here. It's not super long range, so just be aware of that. But the HE shells do a lot of damage, do the assault gun damage. and it's only 40 points. And this can certainly trade up quite well to any sort of Panzer IV or Sherman or T3. Any medium tank, this will trade very profitably with. So that's, this dies, the opponent dies, you're up 30 points. So this is a really nice weapon. Really probably shouldn't pass up on these most of the time. Then we're taking a card of Pack 40s. Unfortunately, there's no Pack 38s. There's no F-22s. There's no lightish, cheapish AT. We're not taking the Panzerbusche. That's not in the same category as actually killing a tank. I don't love this, but I do feel weird having no static AT at all. It comes up too often where you really wish you could, defend something AT-wise and you don't want a tank standing there. This kind of does the job. And then Jagdpanzer IV in B phase. This is just one of my favorite weapons in the game. I don't know. I just think it sits at a really good spot where it bullies so much stuff with its super high armor and really effective Pack 40 gun. It's a good unit. I have a hard time not taking this whenever it's in a division, and it's pretty well costed for what it does. It will beat basically everything in this price bracket pretty consistently. Things we're not taking. The Panzerbusche, just explained. There are more Panzerschrecks. We just don't have room for them, and you don't really need more. Martyr 2 is a very effective AT gun. It's not the best one. Again, you're starting to get up in price where, trading with a medium tank doesn't feel so good anymore. But it is a good unit. There's just no room. Stug 3 F8 is actually pretty phenomenal. This unit is great. It's actually just a Stug for a, 25-point deduction. Yes, you lose the armor. But otherwise, that's literally it. That's the only weakness. That's why it's 25 points less, and you have less HE shells, I believe. To me, that's a pretty big discount just for losing some armor. And yeah, it's a good drop in armor, but the fact of the matter is this will then trade profitably against any medium tank in the game. So yes, I would like to take this. If you don't like the Jagdpanzer IV, take it over the Jagdpanzer IV, but I really like the Jagdpanzer IV. I mean, you could take it over the Pack 40. You could totally not have static AT, and I would not judge you for that. More Pack 40s and another Jagdpanzer IV card, even, I would love to take both, but I am not. So this division definitely suffers from activation points, right? It's an older division. The activation points are pretty brutal and make you make a lot of choices you don't want to make. Anti-air tab. Mobile Wagon. It's a Flak 43, one of the best AA pieces in the game for its price. 2 of these, A and B phase. Yes, you could take the SDK of Z. Me personally, I find the Flak 43 to be almost as effective as an SDK of Z 7.1. Okay, it's not as effective, but for 20 points less, I think it's pretty darn close, and it's just a very good unit, especially if you can get veterancy on it. Then it really starts cooking. No, you should never take the 20 mil, even if. It comes with this fun transport. I think the Pioneer Fear comes in that too. I think I had it in that. Yeah. Nope, not that one. Panzer is okay, but this is much better. If you're going to bring the leader, by the way, you should definitely bring it in this transport. I did forget to mention that. SDKZ 251/10. This is absolutely phenomenal for 5 points. It eats half-tracks and stuff alive. It's a 100%. You're always making value off of this unit. It's kind of nuts, actually. Definitely take that. That might have been one of the reasons I had the leader in there at all. Be honest with you. Actually, can we bring the Panzerschreck in it? Oh my God. Yeah. Forget that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. The SDK of Z 251/9 is literally just another SDK SPW 234 variant. Yes. For only 15 points, this thing is actually cracked. Now you don't get the heat shell, which does suck, but I thought you got the heat shell. I guess this one you don't. Still think it's worth it. You could take the 251/10. The 251/10 fires really quick, has regular accuracy, 65 millimeters penetration versus, no, I can't get back off it, versus this, which only at 55, but you get the way better HE here. I'm really struggling, actually. This kills half-tracks too, but this is only 5 points. I'm going to go with the 5.1 here because we have a ton. The only reason I'm doing this is because I have a ton of Panzer IIIs and the different kinds of this, KWK-37 gun all over the place. So I think we can sacrifice it here for once and go with the SDKs at 251. This thing is so cost efficient. It's kind of gross. So yeah. We're going to go with that. Okay, so anti-air, yay. All right, artillery tab. There's a ton of options here. We're not playing that kind of game, to be honest with you. Taking the mortar, taking the battery fear, and this is where our ammo lives. We do need ammo for our mortar. If we're going to call mortars in, at some point we're going to have to call ammo. Yes, I understand it's now really expensive, but Now I don't have to waste slots in the support tab for ammo I barely am calling in. Now, what I did have before was... Can I make the annoying engine sound go away? Yeah. So what I did have before was the mobile wagon. Excuse me, the Panzerwerfer. It's a Nebelwerfer 41, but it's worse. Okay, it looks better because it fires in volleys of 10, but it is not better because the fire rate's actually like slower and the aim is worse. So this just does so much worse than a normal Nebelwerfer. It's actually a little insane how much worse this thing is than the regular Panzerwerfer. The normal Nebelwerfer. I don't really understand why it is so much worse. I explained the reasons why, but I don't understand why literally it's so much worse. It feels like it should be a way better version because you get more bullets out. It fires more rockets. But yeah, I want this to be good so bad, and I've tried it so many times, and it's just not good. So that's why I took it out, slotted this in for the ammo instead for the mortar. Things are not taking Beobachter mortar because why? Terrible, worst RD piece in the game, basically. 120, versus you could get this mortar as well. It is 15 points less, but you get 15 less shells, and we're not getting ammo till B phase, which is why we're taking this SDK of Z. Talked about the Panzerwerfer. It's terrible. The heavier artillery, I'm just not likely to use it. This doesn't even come with ammo, which, obviously has that problem, and this means I have to spend that much more for ammo. So, and you can even see I vetted this, not because I actually want veterancy on this arty, it's because I only need a little bit of ammo, and I'm probably not calling in 4 SK-18s in a Maverick game, ever. So the little veterancy does help make this more effective if I'm using it that way. It also technically is AP shells, so what the heck. I've also seen a lot of people using this really aggressively, like near the front lines, and it worked pretty well for them. So, yeah, something I might try. Off map, Barf. It is the Siegfried gun. It's big. The shells go big booms, but you only get one call-in. You're spending 170 points for one big call-in. I cannot tell you that's worth it. A whole minute of income for this thing. I just don't think it's worth it. Air tab. So, a lot of good things going on here, but there's not like it either bombs or it shoots things down. That's basically all this air tab does. So, we're taking the Ju-87 Recon here. Now, I could take this out. If you want more tanks, you can come over here, grab some more of those tanks. If you feel like this is not enough Panzer IVs, we can very much, throw in another card of these, Panzer IVs here, like an A phase or something like that. But yeah, so I did have this in. I'm not a huge air recon guy myself. A lot of people are. That's why I'm putting the option there for either one. Then the Ju-87D3. This is a phenomenal unit. For only 75 points, you get a 500 kilogram bomb. This now has medium resilience. This forces your opponent to call in definitely more points of AA than this. So you spend 75 points, they spend 100 some points on AA just to keep this from destroying them. If they don't do anything about it, this absolutely wrecks them throughout A phase. It's really actually quite good. And if they commit to a full fighter, that's usually 100 points. And if you can bait that fighter into your own AA, then you're getting even more. I mean, it's just actually a really good unit in general, just by the effects it has on the battlefield. It forces your opponent to spend a lot more points where you are not spending that many points. And if this gets one kill, then it's already halfway paid off, right? You kill one Panzer gun with this, you've already paid off 30 points of the 75 points. Not half, but getting close to it. So, and if it gets an AT gun or something like that, even more points. Just a really actually weirdly low-key good unit these days. Then the BF-109 G6 R6. I'm bringing a fighter. I have a hard time not bringing a fighter at all. And also, there's not like a ton of other things I want in this air tab, where you desperately need it. I like the little eyeball on the side. I see you. I'm going to shoot you down. It is the heavier fighter. It definitely puts out a lot of damage, which is nice. It's not super fast, but I would prefer to have a little slower and something like actually really shoot stuff down. But remember, it is bad resilience. It does die quite easily. Other option here is the BF-109 G6. It's a really weak damage output, and it only goes 30 kilometers an hour faster than this. So I don't really see that being worth it, generally speaking. B-phase Ju-88 A4, a pretty nice bomb load out here, 2 500 kilograms and 28 50 kilogram bombs. So it definitely is going to cover an area in bombs. Your other option here is the 4 250s. Might be better. I mean, it's cheaper. It's 30 points cheaper, but this thing definitely, when it hits hard. So definitely something to consider. Ju-87 for only 50 points. The problem with this one is it actually doesn't kill things very consistently. Like a 500 kilogram bomb will kill most stuff in that bombing run. This, not really. This really won't generally kill things, and that makes it not really worth even the 25-point deduction that you get on that price. So 116th Panzer. Honestly, a solid division. It only really does, one thing where you're rushing with light armor. You're using your support armor to support your limited infantry, backing it up with some heavier tanks, using your air force to bomb out soft targets that are in your way, and pushing ahead. That's really what you're doing. You can't really play it defensively. It doesn't really have the tools for that. The slot costs are too expensive in the places you would need them to be. But yeah, really solid division overall. Does the job. You're not going to, become champion of the world with this most likely, but you can definitely win a lot of games, I think. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe, and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership down below. Thanks a bunch, everybody, and have a fantastic day.